A shrine that had stood for generations was listed in a short municipal report as stabilized, and the next week the stone base had been replaced with smooth concrete, ritual groves cleared, and the old guardian posts moved. No baseline photos, no provenance note, and a drawer of technical terms stood between the community and the change. Let's break this down clearly.
Welcome to NSP Plus TV, Cambodia's voice to the world. I'm Port Norn, and today we're opening the Euphemism files, how neutral-sounding project language can hide real, lasting changes to Khmer heritage and what communities can do about it.
And I'm Nisa. We'll keep this practical. Safety first steps for custodians, what to look for in reports, and 3 immediate low-risk actions you can take today. Before we begin, if you're sending documents to us, please follow the redaction checklist on our website and use our secure intake. Do not send unredacted personal data. This is informational guidance, not legal advice.
Today, we'll map common euphemisms. Shortlist first. Vegetation management can mean large-scale tree removal. Stabilization is sometimes used where original stone is removed and replaced. Bank regrading or slope normalization can quietly redraw sacred boundaries. These terms sound technical, neutral, even helpful, but they can mask the loss of ritual context, original materials, and custodial rights.
Let me make this simple for you. Think of these phrases as shorthand that shifts responsibility away from human choices and into engineering necessity. That shift matters because records with neutral language become the official history, and over time, the narrative of loss is normalized as maintenance or resilience.
Exactly. And that normalization affects accountability. If a report says vegetation management rather than ritual grove removal, it may omit who approved it, what species were removed, and whether traditional rituals were consulted. 10 years from now, researchers looking back might only find a line in a PDF and assume it was routine work.
From a practical standpoint, that means custodians should learn to spot missing elements. No baseline photos, no material specs, no independent condition reports, and vague maps without scale or coordinates. Those absences are clues that meaningful information was never recorded.
Now, let's walk through 3 anonymized cases so you can hear how this plays out on the ground. The names and locations are withheld to protect communities and sources, but the patterns are real. Case A, a site described in a donor brief as receiving vegetation management to improve visitor safety and visibility. The work removed an old grove used for ancestor offerings and small shrines tucked under the trees. The official photos show a cleared lawn and new paths. What the report never documents are the removed ritual markers, the oral histories tied to the trees, or the custodial permissions.
In that case, community members told us they were verbally consulted, but no record exists of those conversations. Without signed minutes, time-stamped photos, or a pre-work condition report, it's effectively one person's word against a PDF in a government archive. That's why collecting dates, witness names, and photos before any work begins is vital.
Case B, labeled as stabilization in a conservation plan. The report states it's to ensure structural integrity and lists modern cement interventions as acceptable. After work began, fieldstones were taken away and replaced without documented salvage, and a ceremonial ledge used for offerings was lost beneath new mortar. The technical appendix listed material classes, but no catalog of original fabric or a photographic timeline.
For many custodians, those original stones carry inscriptions or patina that tell the site's story. When a report only lists Class B masonry without provenance, that context disappears in record keeping. That's not just a technical change, it's a cultural erasure, slowly archived as acceptable intervention.
Case C, an infrastructure upgrade with drainage maps labeled slope normalization. On paper, it's flood prevention. In practice, the new drainage channel cut through a boundary that local ritual practice marked with low stone markers. The as-built drawings included topographic lines, but not the ritual boundary lines that villagers used for rites and land stewardship.
When technical documents treat ritual boundaries as invisible, they become invisible in planning decisions. That disconnect creates durable records that future planners trust. So the loss doesn't just happen physically, it happens administratively.
So what should communities and custodians demand? Here's a forensics primer. Always ask for raw survey layers, geolocated photos with timestamps, material specifications tied to catalog numbers, original condition reports from independent conservators, and a clear record of consultations, including dates and who attended.
Add to that, request any methodology appendices, chain of custody notes for removed materials, and a list of subcontractors. If a report references a baseline survey, ask to see the raw files, not just a summary. And crucially, never publicly publish personal IDs, permit numbers tied to private data, or signatures. Follow a redaction checklist.
We spoke anonymously with a conservator who advised, the single most useful thing is a photo timeline. Even phone photos, if geotagged and dated, create a defensible baseline. A planner we consulted said, if maps lack layers showing ritual markers, politely request that those layers be added. A community custodian reminded us, keep copies of local oral statements in writing, dated and signed when possible.
In our expert clinic today, distilled advice, model questions to ask agencies, and a realistic escalation path. First, send a non-confrontational request. Ask for the raw survey files, ask for a photographic timeline, and request an independent condition report. If those responses are incomplete, ask for a corrigendum or clarification in writing. If that fails, seek mediation through heritage NGOs or pro bono legal counsel before going public.
We want to be clear, we're providing informational guidance, not legal counsel. Before formal legal steps, consult a vetted pro bono lawyer or a respected heritage NGO. And when you send documents to NSP Plus TV for help, follow our redaction checklist and use the secure intake. We will refuse unredacted private information.
Now, the community playbook. 3 immediate low-risk actions you can take today. 1. Take a photo timeline of the site from the same vantage points. Date and geotag the images. 2. Prepare a short written statement of custodial practice, how the site is used, ceremonies, who cares for it, signed by local custodians. 3. Send a polite request to the agency for raw survey files and time-stamped photos, using our templated letter if you like.
For the templated letter, start with a neutral subject line. Identify yourself and your custodial role, request the specific files by file name or date range, and ask for redacted versions if necessary. Offer mediation and express willingness to meet. Keep the tone collaborative, not accusatory. That approach often gets faster, less defensive responses.
We have downloadable checklists and model letters linked on our episode page. Everything built to be redaction safe. Use them, adapt them, and share with custodial networks so everyone is prepared when a report appears.
Time for a listener question. Here's an anonymized note we received. We were told a tree had to be removed for safety. There is a single-line note in a project brief. How do we know whether this was necessary or avoidable?
Good question. Start by requesting the safety assessment and its raw data. Who conducted it, when, what species assessments were used, and whether any less invasive options were considered. Ask for any alternative mitigation plans. Meanwhile, document the tree with photos, collect neighbor testimonies about its history, and note any associated ritual use. All of that becomes your redaction-safe evidence packet.
If you send that packet to an NGO or NSP Plus TV, redact personal IDs and signatures and upload via our secure portal. We will triage and advise next steps. Remember, public campaigns can help, but they can also escalate tensions. So we recommend mediation first and legal counsel when needed.
Before we close, 3 quick takeaways to hold on to. 1. Neutral technical language can hide cultural losses. 2. Build defensible baselines now. Photos, witness statements, and independent condition notes. 3. Use calm, documented requests and mediation paths before public escalation.
Thank you for listening.
If you care about protecting Khmer heritage, subscribe to NSP Plus TV and download the Euphemism Files Toolkit on our episode page. Decoding checklist, model letters, and redaction guidance are all there. And if you have documents to share, use our secure Redaction First intake. The facts are clear. The evidence is undeniable. Stand with Cambodia.
From Phnom Penh to the world, let's keep the record clear and the custodial voice heard. Join us next time for another practical episode from NSP Plus TV. Stay safe and keep taking careful, documented steps to protect your heritage.